Hello watch fans, it's Anders here on Watch On channel. YouTube, they have unfortunately changed the algorithm, so smaller channels like my channel simply doesn't get as many views as before. That's really too bad. So if you want to help out my channel, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, then you will be notified when I release a new video, although YouTube for some strange idiotic reason is trying to hurt us smaller channels. So this is a video all about my next luxury watch purchase. I'm contemplating getting a more classic dress style watch because my collection is very much sports watches, a lot of dive watches, of course also chronographs and GMT watches, and I really want to get into a more classic, more simple dress style watch. If you want to see my whole collection, I did a state of the collection video. You can find the video by clicking the link up in the right hand corner or down in the description. Then you can see it after watching this video. And if you have been following my channel for the last 5 or 6 years, you know I'm always kind of trying to make my collection better, trying to always getting nicer watches, trying to really consolidate my collection to get the kind of perfect collection. I think I will never stop because part of the hobby, of the fun thing with collecting watches is always being on the hunt, always looking at the next piece. And if you want to figure out what kind of watch collector you are or I am, you can see my video about 4 different types of watch collectors. Again, link in the description or up in the right hand corner now. So I have picked 4 luxury dress style watches and I'm going to go through the watches now. I would really like your input. Which is your favorite? And if you have some other suggestions which I haven't included in this video. So the first one is a Grand Seiko. This is the SBW231. This is a very classic, no date, manually wound dress style watch. What I really like about this watch is 2 major things. The first, the cream color dial. I think it looks amazing. I think that Grand Seiko hit the right spot, the right color with this kind of nice cream color dial. It's kind of off-white. It is not completely white. Very, very nice, kind of warm and beautiful color in my opinion. And then the other thing is of course the Zaratsu finishing, the Zaratsu polishing that Grand Seiko they do by hand. So the case, the indices and the hands are finished by hand to a very, very high degree of polishing. This is just absolutely beautiful and I think everything just looks amazing with this watch. It is priced at around 4,300 euros or around 5,000 US dollars. You can maybe find it a little bit cheaper. I sometimes see them a little bit cheaper on Chrono24. And the manual wound movement is the 9S64 movement, which is a high beat movement, 28,800 revolutions per hour, and it has 72 hours of power reserve. I like the fact that it's manually wound because this is a dress style watch. You really want to not wear it every day, maybe on special occasions, maybe 4 or 5 days every month. And then it's really nice just to pick the watch off the watch box and start to wind it. It is adjusted to -3 to +5 seconds per day. The size is my biggest concern. Very classic size, but for my personal taste, it's maybe to the small side. It is 37.3 millimeters in diameter, 44.3 millimeters lock tip to lock tip, and 11.6 millimeters thick. So the thickness, because this is a manual wound movement, is a little on the high side actually, and I think that's a good thing because it just makes the watch wear a little bit bigger. It comes on a leather strap, a crocodile leather strap with a pin buckle, and for me this is the most classic of the 4 choices I have now, and it's also the only Japanese watch. So I'm definitely looking into this Grand Seiko. I think it's a beautiful watch, and it's kind of the perfect mixture between modern types of finishing, modern movement, high quality finishing of the movement from Grand Seiko, and then a very classic no-date, smaller size dress watch. So this is my first choice I'm actually contemplating about getting. The second one is a little more to the sporty side. This is the IWC Portugueser in blue. The reference number is the IW358305. This is priced at around 7,500 Swiss francs or around $7,000. You can find them a little bit more expensive or a little less expensive on Chrono24. This is an automatic IWC caliber which is adjusted to COSC specifications. It's the IWC caliber 82200 which has 60 hours of power reserve. I think the movement you can see through the sapphire caseback, it looks amazing. I really like what IWC are doing these days. I think they are really stepping up towards becoming a much higher end brand. Of course, IWC is a high-end brand, but I actually feel that they're taking a step towards maybe Seiko Culture and brands like that. They are really doing some amazing things with both the pilot watches and the dress watches. This Portugueser in blue is 40.4 millimeters in diameter, 12.3 millimeters in thickness, and 49 millimeters lock tip to lock tip. So it's definitely also very classic, almost IWC, making their watches a little bit bigger. They're kind of oversizing some of their watches, and with this I think we get a very nice mixture between dress watch, classic watch with a beautiful small seconds complication, beautiful Arabic numerals, but also a sports style watch because of the sunburst dial, the blue beautiful sunburst dial. The case dimensions kind of is more in the safe zone for me, being much more a sports watch guy than a classic dress watch guy. The strap is an alligator leather strap with a 2-part buckle. I think it's just an absolutely stunning watch. I think it's very much a masculine dress style watch. And compared to the Grand Seiko, this is much more of a kind of big masculine watch. The Grand Seiko, it looks a little more fragile, a little more classic. This is definitely IWC as we know them. We want to make it big and we want to make it a little bit louder. And this is definitely a watch I have been falling very much in love with in recent time. So moving on to a brand I love, and I own 3 watches in my collection from this brand, and that's of course Omega. This is the Omega Deville Tresor Blue. The reference number is a typical crazy Omega reference number, so 435134021030001. This watch is priced at around 7,000 euros or $7,600. I see them pre-owned actually at a very nice price at around $5,000, so you can definitely find these pre-owned at a cheaper price. I like the blue version, which is a manual wound coaxial master chronometer movement. It's the 8910 in-house Omega coaxial master chronometer movement, which has a power reserve of 72 hours. This is 40 millimeters in diameter, 10 millimeters only thick, and approximately 45 millimeters from lock tip to lock tip. It comes on a leather strap, alligator leather strap with a nice pin buckle. A thing I really like about this is how they actually finished the master chronometer coaxial movement, the 8910 movement. It looks amazing through the sapphire crystal caseback. 72 hours of power reserve is amazing. Kind of Omega is kind of the watch of the people. If you want to get a really high quality luxury watch, look into Omega watches. And what I really like about this particular version is the high polished case, the big domed sapphire crystal, and this beautiful blue textured dial, which is kind of almost looking like a kind of darker blue denim. Maybe a little like the Railmaster, which is just more light blue. This is darker blue. I also like that you actually get a date complication on this watch. You don't get that with the IWC or the Grand Seiko, but you get a really nice date complication at 6 o'clock, which is really nicely color matched. So a safe choice for me is definitely getting another Omega. I love this brand, and I think an Omega dress watch will fit in perfectly with my 2 Seamasters, my Speedmaster, and then get a DeVille dress watch. So definitely right now I will actually say that this is my favorite within the 4 watches I have picked for this video. I think it's beautiful. I think the dimensions are right. I love the movement. I like the looks of this watch, and I just absolutely love Omega as a brand. So the last and 4th watch is a brand I have never owned. This is a Seiko Culture Master Control Date. The reference number is Q4018420. The price for the newer version, which was released just a year ago, is $8,600, but I see them around on, for example, Chrono24 and other watch selling sites for around $7,500. You can also get an older version at around $6,000. But with the new version, you get the in-house JLC caliber 899, which has 70 hours of power reserve compared to the older complication or the older movement, which only had around 40 hours of power reserve. And it has the 1,000 hour test, which is the way that Seiko they actually test their watches. They test them with a lot of different things for 1,000 hours before they go out for sale. This watch has some extremely nice dimensions, I think. It's 40 millimeters in diameter, only 8.87 millimeters in thickness, so less than 9 millimeters in thickness. This watch will wear like a dream on the wrist. It's a very cool dress watch kind of dimension. You don't get 36 millimeters, you still get a watch with 40 millimeters, so it's definitely modern dimensions, but less than 10 millimeters and even less than 9 millimeters in thickness is just amazing. And then 48 millimeters from lock tip to lock tip from what I can find on the internet. It comes on a kind of cafe latte brown calfskin leather strap with a deployed buckle. For me, the leather strap isn't a very good choice. I think it simply looks too modern for this watch. I would have preferred maybe alligator or crocodile, but you can of course also change the strap. But this strap, as far as I have researched, is top quality. I think this is a really nice choice if you want to get into high horology. We know that Patek Philippe, Vacheron Constantin and Audemars Piguet is kind of the holy trilogy, but just below this holy trilogy you will find JLC. This is a perfect way of getting into high horology without actually having to sell your house and one kidney to afford one of these watches. So this is definitely also a watch I'm looking into. I think this is just like the Grand Seiko, maybe the most classic choice, the most kind of everyday go with everything choice because it's so anonymous. But with this newer version, they kind of made the dial a little more silvery. With the older versions, it's kind of more cream colored, almost like the Grand Seiko I also have in this 4 watches video. So this is definitely also a watch I'm looking into. I think this right now is my least favorite. I would maybe even prefer one of the older versions. I think they are kind of more warm in the look. So now I'm contemplating which of these 4 watches should I get, or should I actually just get the Rolex Explorer 1, which is kind of a watch I really want in my collection, but still I in my collection own 3 Rolex watches already, and maybe it's simply just too much Rolex. I don't own a IWC and I don't own a Seiko, so maybe it would be really cool to get into a new brand. So what do you think of these 4 picks I made of a high-end luxury dress style watch? Would you recommend any other watches I didn't mention in this video, and which of these 4 watches is your favorite? I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you can give me your help to make me decide which of these watches I should add to my collection. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.